Dum. Hey. Welcome to another edition of R&B Podcast. Miss J, Stevie, how you guys doing this evening?
Good evening. It's always great to spend a couple of hours with my good friend Andy and the wonderful Miss J and all you viewers that are tuned in tonight. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes. Well, it is always a pleasure with you guys. We got the Red Golden Child all on board here. I'm very surprised. Red Golden Child says never say never of Full Moon with the albums. I don't understand how this album does not. I thought this was her best piece of work, but it is strange that everyone has very different opinions. I wonder if she didn't release The Boy's Mind, if we would have had the same, if people would have had the same, if Never Say Never would have been as big as it is. But we'll get into that.
Yes.
How are you doing,
Miss J?
How are you doing? How's your day been?
Yes, it was big. I almost fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Wow.
12 minutes before I was supposed to see a client, and I just woke up halfway through and rushed out the door and had a very good therapy session. Outside of that has been good. And Mac, greetings, and Timmy Lee, welcome. Yeah, go ahead, Miss J.
I'm good. And the Red Golden Child made me feel even better. He just called me, whoever that is, just called me a star. Thank you. Love it.
You're a star. Well, you've got the Brandy out. I mean, if you had a purple hat, then a scarf or hat, you'd have done it. But anyway,
I was trying to give a little of that vibe.
Just a little bit of the vibe. Yes, as you guys come in, just we'll shout you guys out because we always know you're part of the show. Timmy Lee and Mac, the Red Golden Child. Welcome, guys. Stevie, how about yourself? No show today, so how do you normally spend?
I was enjoying a nice chilled Sunday, and then I got a WhatsApp from my good friend Leaky Fresh, a fellow DJ. On a sad note, but I've got to mention it because I wouldn't be sat here for this reason. The very sad passing of a BBC radio, a legend, BBC radio legend, Andy Peoples. He used to have a show back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It was called The Soul Train, and he used to play a whole spectrum of soul music. If you're from the UK, you're into soul, you'll know who Andy Peoples is. One of my memories of him relating to Janet Jackson, actually, we did last night. On the way home from the Rhythm Nation gig that I went to in Birmingham in 1990, I remember getting on the coach and they were playing radio. This is BBC Radio 1 around 1990. And I couldn't believe it. They're playing, and this is for the hardcore R&B heads who tuned in tonight. They're playing the Wooten Brothers. And I'm like, they're playing the Wooten Brothers on who's playing this on Radio 1 just after midnight? I couldn't believe it. The Wooten Brothers were this R&B swing group from Dallas, Texas. They made a couple of albums back then, but I just couldn't believe they were playing it on national UK radio after midnight. And when the song faded, Andy Peoples came on and went, and that was the Wooten Brothers' brand new album, Try My Love, blah, blah, blah. And I was used to tune into his show. The kind of radio presenting I do now takes great influence from him. So I got to say, rest in peace to Andy Peoples, 76 years old. He was the last person to interview. What's the guy called?
John Lennon.
Yeah,
John Lennon.
The last person to interview John Lennon, and he said I was so nervous at the interview, just meeting him and what the Beatles stood for, and it kind of reminded me of when I got the opportunity to interview Teddy Riley, sit down with him for 10 minutes. And got a 10-minute, I was so nervous as well. You meet your legend, that's what happens. But yeah, Andy Peoples, rest in peace. I'll miss you, sir. I will miss you.
Yes, I just saw it on the news today, but George Foreman died the same age just 2 days ago, and there was somebody else that just passed away just about the same age as well, 76. So it
Well,
is, yeah, it's strange that
in the northwest of the UK, Namdi, the average life expectancy of a male is 77 years of age.
Wow.
So, and it's living up to that, to be quite honest. So,
yes. Hopeful welcome from California. Melodic greetings, Aunt Philaru. Oh goodness. Welcome.
On a more funnier note, if any of you ladies are watching tonight and looking for a man with money in the UK, in the Northwest, if you get to marry him by the time he's 76, 77, probably won't be around. You probably get all his money. So there you go.
Okay,
ladies, like you say, ladies like to marry for money, don't they? Like to do that. One of the clever things they do, ladies, is they marry for money. And why not, eh? Why not? Because let's face it, we marry for the honey. Honey equals honey. Remember that, folks.
Well, tonight we're celebrating an album that just celebrated 30 years, and that's Brandy's debut album. It came out in September of '94. It sold 6 million worldwide, and it spawned it spawned let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top 10 R&B hits, and Sitting Up in My Room was at Billboard #2.
How many hits?
So
How
for
many?
a day, 6 of them were in the top 10.
There's only 4 singles. Fine, you count the remixes as well, don't we?
I Want to Be Down, Baby, Best Friend, Broken Hearted. Okay, Sitting Up in My Room, sorry, was on the soundtrack, and also Missing You was on the Set It Off soundtrack. So yeah, it was four top 10s, but it actually just shows Brandy was actually making some hits, even though with those 2 soundtracks. I was surprised that a lot of people preferred Never Say Never. And I do wonder if it was because of the popularity of The Boy Is Mine, if that people just rode on the wave of that and it's just like, yep, let's just go into it. Because Never Say Never sold 16 million worldwide. So almost did 3 times the numbers of her debut album.
It was better.
But then when we look at Full Moon, only did 1.5 million. And Aphrodisiac just went platinum. Just went gold, did 500,000. So she started to dip. And I wonder, how do you go from doing 16 million to going down to just 1.5 million in for Full Moon? And what was the big drop? Why was the drop so sudden? Anyone had any ideas?
I do.
Hopeful says Brandy went to my junior high school. Yeah, go ahead, Miss J.
I think, okay, so The Boy Is Mine was a great hit, but I loved other songs on the album besides just that. So I do think she had more songs on the second album than the first that were better. But when she came out with Full Moon, that was amazing too. But the reason why I think it dropped was because she had a sham of a wedding, a sham of a marriage. And, that good girl image that she put up, she faked the marriage and she fooled she tried to fool everybody saying that she was married to this man so she wouldn't have a child out of wedlock. But come to find out, she was lying about it. And that ticked everybody off. And they were like, oh, Brandy's a fake, a phony. And a lot of folks didn't like her as much because she lied to everybody. I think that's
what was that again? She got married for what reason was that?
She really wasn't married. She lied and said she was married.
All right, interesting.
Oprah and everything.
I didn't even know that.
She had a chat. She got pregnant with one of Rodney's producers, and
cousin.
But then they did an interview together, saying, we got married, and this is my husband and stuff. And the guy was uneasy about it, but this was to protect her innocence. She was still on Mauritius, she was still a teen child, and it was to protect that image. but then it got. I think the guy realized it wasn't. It was spoiling his stuff, and he came out with it and says, "No, we're not married and stuff." But I don't know. I don't know why that could happen. Why that if the album was as good as Never Say Never, whether there wasn't a big hit on on Full Moon. What about us? You know, it did went number 7 on Billboard, and went number 3 on the R&B charts, and Full Moon itself didn't hit the top 10. And
great.
so I just wonder if the songs were as powerful as well.
I think
Red Hot.
She seemed to peak by the late 90s after that Boys Mine record did big things for both Monica and Brandy.
Right.
Obviously, they were both on it.
But that's what I'm saying. Was it that song itself that sold the whole album?
Hold on, there's something you haven't mentioned here as well. What was it where the only thing I heard controversy I heard about Brandy was something to do with the car crash and someone died in it, and she got blamed for it, and that affected her career as well. I don't know when that was though. If someone in the comments can tell me when that was it after second album? Yeah,
it was after Full Moon. It was much.
I think that really affected her career as well, to be quite honest.
Also, yeah, the Moesha, the Self-Righteous Act, the Red Golden Child was saying that also J-Lo took a lot of her hits. I don't know. At the time Rodney was so big, but they probably I think Shantae Moore said some of her songs were given to J-Lo. And so it could be a power play that actually a lot of the tracks that he might have had for her might have gone to other artists like J-Lo.
Shantae Moore's songs went to J-Lo.
Wow.
Yeah, so Rodney did what was that very first single that J-Lo came out with? If You Had My Love. So that was a Shantae Moore single, and it got changed slightly for J-Lo. But it sounds exactly the same, but it's just a little bit more upbeats. And so that was the
Moore, you should have kept that record. That could have been
No, she didn't. It was played for her. Tommy liked it and gave it to and said you need to put it for J-Lo. So he remixed it for J-Lo. But if you listen, and she just confessed it. She said if you listen to my version, it was the same. She recorded a version, but it didn't have the oomph that the one that was given to J-Lo.
Interesting.
But that's what it could be the case where there could be the case where that could have been an issue. We all know that Rain was supposed to be recorded, and Brian Alexander Morgan wrote and produced it for Brandy, but it didn't get it didn't get on the album. So then he gave it to SWV. So yeah, and I'm saying it's interesting just to see how her career just sort of from her height just started to drop, and just wonder all those things, because a lot of people seem to like Never Say Never and Full Moon, which is a strange one for me.
Which one is strange?
Which is a strange one for me. I thought the Brandy album was her best album. I thought it was just a more natural album. I felt the songs were better for her vocals. I thought, the production was the songs and production was better. But that's just me. I think I never really got into Never Say Never, and I think The Boy's Mind was a big track, and I think that pushed that album more so than it should have. If you didn't have that track, I don't think. Let me see. Apart from The Boy's Mind.
Mace is on that too, right?
Top of the World. That was a big. That was a big.
Top of the World.
Big track.
Top of the World. It didn't chart in America because they didn't release the single. It only got to number 2 in the UK. It was the single didn't release. They didn't release the single because that's what they were doing back then.
They had a video for that.
You do the video, the same way Blackstreet had "Don't Leave Me." You do a video, you put it on the radio, but you don't sell the singles, so people buy the album. So that was the strategy. So they didn't have a video for that. Have You Ever got to number 1 on the Billboard charts, number 2 on the R&B charts, and then Almost Doesn't Count. They didn't get into the top 10, and You Don't Know Me Like You Used To didn't really chart.
So you're saying the one with Mace didn't have a single, but they made a video for it.
They made a video. No, so the labels were doing back then is that they would put the single on the radio. They'll do the video, but you won't be able to buy the single.
You gotta buy the CD
because they want to sell the album. You have to buy the whole album. In the UK, it sold because in the UK it got to number 2 in the UK charts. So they sold the single around the world, but in the US they wanted to push the album, so that's why they'll just release the videos. Blackstreet did it with "Don't Leave Me." They didn't release a single in the UK, in the US, but they just pushed the radio, and people just bought the album. Yeah. So, I'm saying this just to say that actually, I think if she didn't have the boy's mind on this, on Never Say Never, I don't know if it would have sold 16 million, and I don't think it would have outsold her debut. But I could be wrong. But I'm saying this because I believe this is probably, one of a very, very powerful debut album from Brandy. It was a album that I think, for her age, they really did well. I mean, if you think about someone like Tracy Spencer, how they struggled to try and get songs for such a young artist, Nada did pretty well when he did Shanice's "I Love Your Smile" and those type of songs. And I think this album was really a testament to good producers, good management in getting the right type of songs for this young girl. And vocally, I couldn't believe how powerful she was, how controlled she was as an artist, just standing out there. So that's why I give a lot of credit to Brandy and this album. Stevie seems to be stunned in silence or so.
No, I've just been listening to your views on it, but I would say from the years 1994 to 96, the sound of R&B, the fashion, very classy time, very underrated period, a very classy. It's all very classy. The production sounds of people who were working on all them albums. I love that period. I know it wasn't. You still got your club hits with the singles. Obviously, New Jack had gone by then, but whoever A&R'd this first album, just amazing. For her age, the way they dressed her, got that look right. Obviously, it's a very mature sound, this album. But I'm just going through the credits, and because I actually didn't get, I got the singles in that year. I'll explain why, but I didn't get the album that year. But it's got production from Kenneth Crouch on here, which he's
great. Yeah, he only did 2 songs on the second album, which I was surprised.
Great stuff in the 90s. Also, there was a group called, and they were signed to Warner Brothers as well, a group called Something for the People. And I've noticed they do some of the tracks on this album, Source, Fuzzy. Yeah. Also, your friend Derek DOA Allen plays guitar on one of the tracks as well. So they really got a classy, tight, production musicians on this album, and that reflects on some of the sound of this album. You could say it's acid jazz, like Sunny Day. Far Side on it. It feels like Brandy would do at the time. So very classy,
Yeah. There was some. Yeah, I'm Yours was like a gospel track.
Big risk that for Atlantic debut album for going. Sounds so mature. So
yeah, it was a very good album. But the album came out in '94. So I'm just going to give you a list of some of the albums that came out in '94. So our Blackstreet debut album came out in '94. Boyz II Men's 2 album came out in '94. Aaliyah's Age Ain't Nothing But a Number came out in '94. Mary J's My Life came out in '94. Johnny came out in '94. Crazy Sexy Cool came out in '94. We had Keep Sweat Get Up on it.
So spoiled.
Yeah, Changing Faces debut album came out in '94.
We've got to do that album.
Anita Baker's Rim of Love, the Above the Rim soundtrack came out in '94. The Whitehead Brothers. So Marvin Riley's Ghetto Love, Ex-Girlfriend. It's a Woman Thing. I don't know. I think there was politics that
album,
really
that,
low
good album.
key. Low key came
Oh,
out. Yes,
great
it did.
album.
Usher's debut album, one of my favorite debut albums that Usher came out. We had Regulate Warren G. I mean that's I mean if we
You
just had
not listened to that
free
Low
of-
Key album, have you? Because I tell you what, Namdi, that Low Key album is as good as the Blackstreet album. It's that good. It is that good. It's an
Wow.
incredible album. Incredible album.
We also had Whitehead Brothers, Seriously, Karen White, Make Him Do Right, Elder Barge, Heart, Mind and Soul. I played that album in and out. Your Heart, I love that album. Arrested Development, Seal. I mean, this is just and this is not all. Barry White, Outcome. You know when he did Practice What You Preach. Shanice 21, The Ways to Grow. I mean that's Love Supreme by Shantae Moore. Keith Sweat, Get Up on It. All for One. So and then Madonna's Bedtime Stories, which I actually bought, and I was like, wow, you know, it had Take a Bow and Human Nature. It had some with Dallas Austin and Babyface. I mean, isn't that crazy? The list of things that came out in '94. I mean, there were still others.
I hear people say the early 2000s was like the best year for R&B, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me?
'94.
What have you just reeled off there?
'94 was.
We've not even got into 1995, but that 1994 just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, Where's My Love, Babyface, and Elder Barge. That was my year. That was like that was one of those years where you're listening. You're just, you know, I still remember going into buying the My Life album, buying all these albums, and thinking this is the life. This is how we're just getting music, and Brandy fits into this. This is Aaliyah, or I've talked about Aaliyah's age ain't just nothing, but
imagine if someone had told you, said to you back then, Namdi, 30 years on from now, all this will be gone. You'd be like, go away.
I would
go away. Go away.
I mean, you would never believe that you won't buy CDs anymore. You would never believe that you wouldn't. I mean, I used to go. I said I worked in Best Buy in the music department. So as they come out, I'm buying it, and get my little discounts and stuff. I was just buying them as they came out. And but this is just to celebrate the year that Brandy came out, and she sold 6 million copies of this album. So it just shows how much of course Boyz II Men did 20 million. I think Blackstreet did about 1.5 million. My Life was big. TLC did over 10 million. I mean, this was just, people were buying, and we were just blessed with so much music in that '94. And Prince, I didn't even mention Prince. He had an album called Come. The issue with Prince was that he was just releasing an album every 6 weeks. So I think we got bored of that.
Every 6 weeks.
Yeah, the Red Gun Child. I think Stevie we'll probably think about doing that in '94. Just celebrating '94 because it was a golden year, just to see which of the years in the '90s did we get the most classic albums to today. I mean, and I think '94 will be hard to beat, but we'll look into that.
People don't understand. I remember getting to 1997 and I thought, this something's not right here. What's changed? It's not as good as '96. I just couldn't understand it.
Yeah. And it was the hip hop. It was a lot more hip hop dominated, and it was a lot more hip hop dominated. But anyway, that said, we still want to celebrate Brandy tonight, her debut album, and also the fact that she did something that I when I think about her very first single, I Want to Be Down, the video, of her and her little friends playing on a swing and dancing. It just felt so innocent. It just felt, and then she did the remix with Yo-Yo, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, and it was just like, wow, what the remix was massive as well. They did. Her mum was her manager, and they really, as I said, I have to give them A+ on the whole thing around this whole thing. She had the advantage of being on TV, being Moesha. But think about it. Who was the Gina, the one in House Party? Tisha Campbell. Amazing dancer, amazing singer. She had a really good sort of New Jack album, but it didn't translate because we saw the girl from House Party. So not all actors or actresses could make the move into acting, singing, and pull it off. Even Jasmine Guy tried to do it, but it was hard not to see past Whitney from a different world. So for Brandy, even though she had a hit show, she was able to do something massive on this album.
I feel like Moesha wasn't.
The remix was good.
Did Moesha come out after she came out with her? I feel like the album came. She was on Via. I felt like first it was Via, the album, then Moesha. I don't think Moesha came out until after.
I don't even know what Thea is. What is Thea?
Via was a comedian, and she had her own sitcom, and Brandy was her daughter. Brandon and Jason Weaver were siblings on this show, a sitcom called Thea. And it was before her album came out. So Via, I guess, got canceled. Then Brandy came out with an album, and then Moesha came out, I believe, after the album. So she was like only singing a little bit. She looked kind of different when she was on Via. She was younger, had short little bangs and a cute little bob. And then after that, we saw her singing. Then I think it was Moesha after that. So I think
yeah. So Moesha came out in 96.
Yeah.
But Thea was in 93, 94, so well done for that.
I like what Mike says about if I Want to Be Down came out now with a remix, it'd probably have Meg Thee Stallion on Sexy Red and Glorilla.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be, yeah. That's shocking. That's a shocking thought. All those, as Miss J would say, Namdi, all those ratchet. It's my new word for this evening.
Ratchet.
I had to Google the word, the mean, because obviously I know what the technical word for ratchet is. It's a thing, but apparently it's a slang, according to Miss J, and slang for wild ladies. Wild ladies are called ratchets. You know,
or Southerners, wretched, but yeah.
Did she sing on Thea? Because that's what Chai Boy Shades was saying. Okay, so that's
one time she debuted. They did like a talent show, like for their mother, a tribute to their mother, and she sang and she sounded so good. And I think everybody was like, "I want more of that." And her album came, people bought it up. She was great.
Okay. But as I said, there's a lot of people who act and sing, and it doesn't just work.
Right.
There was a nice little innocence around this. As I said, a really powerful, nice little single and the remix. And if you listen to the interlude, the dedicated, and the first one, she says, "Yeah, I want to thank my little brother Ray J for teaching me how to." Then it fades off, so we don't even hear what she's thanking Ray J for. Like, yeah, he's teaching me all the. And then I want to thank my mom and my dad. I'm like, oh. Ray J didn't really teach you anything. But anyway, did you see the video I sent of Ray J planning his nursing retirement?
No.
I thought I sent it to you guys.
Yes, where he's talking about he's saved some money for his own nurses. I thought, what a great idea that is.
Yeah.
Fantastic idea that is.
Yeah.
Why have a wife that's going to take all your money when you can pay nurses just to look after you when you need, you know?
I have seen that before.
So that's Ray J's big plan. Yeah, that's Ray J's big plan. Anyway, so yeah.
But let's have it right. You know, he brought the Brandy family name into the mud, didn't he? With that sex tape that leaked. Oh dear.
He brought it where? He brought it.
With the sex tape. Is it with the sex tape with Kim Kardashian in? Yeah, dearie me. What's going on? Oh, dearie me. What?
Well, I think Ray J is, he's, he's had his, Anyway,
we'll move on from
Ray J.
Yeah,
we'll move on from Ray J. So tonight's about celebrating Brandy. So guys, we're going to go through her debut album. There are 11 songs on the album. There are 3 interludes, all dedicated part 1, 2, and 3. So there are 11 songs. So we will list what's number 11 all the way up to number 1. And as we always do, as we start off with number 11 up to 1, just put your least favorite song on the album.
You had 11 songs.
Then we go all the way to the.
I had 10 songs, and hold on, what version of the album are you looking at? Or did I leave one of the songs out? I did a top 10 anyway.
I did 10 also.
Okay, didn't you have 11 songs on there with 3 interludes?
What's the 11th song?
So it depends on which one. There were 3.
Let me just look at my track list. Yeah, there's 14 track, 3 interludes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So that's
11. I think. Right.
So at least the one that you didn't put in your top 10.
Oh no, I think there's one song that I didn't even listen to. My love is on my side. I didn't even listen to that. So I missed it out. So it's not in it. It's not in my top 10, and I can't remember what it sounds like. So my bad.
Okay. Well, Mr. J, I mean, the one song that you didn't put in your top 10 wouldn't automatically be number 11.
Oh.
So I don't mind starting off. It's 11 songs plus 3 versions of Dedicated. So I don't mind starting off. And so my number 11 is a song that I where's my stuff here? So yeah, it is it's a song written by Robin Thicke, and it was "Love Is on My Side." It sounded
put it number 11. So
yeah, it sounded like one of those "I Believe the Children Are Our Future" kind of song. It was one of those type of songs that grown up are like, okay, it was a candle. Yeah, if you listen to it, you're like, oh yeah. So it was, and it was, yeah. I'm thinking, Robin Thicke, why are you writing that kind of track? So it's "Love Is on My Side." It felt one of those kind of, I want to lift you up, I want to feel good. I believe the children are future. And I thought, okay. I mean, she sounded beautiful, but it was just, I think David Foster would be proud of the song. That's what I can say to you, Stevie.
I can't believe
Timmy D's goes to put out number 11.
Mike, Emma, what are you doing? Sunny Day, number 11. Come on.
No, DJ All Day. It's 3. They're 3 interludes: Dedicated Part 1, 2, and 3. Which so but we didn't count those on. As Long As You Hear, nice song. Okay. Oh, you put it As Long As You Hear as number 11. Okay, well that's off my bottom. Anyway, Miss J, what's your number? What's the least? What song did you not even put in your top 10?
Sunny Day is my Sunny Day.
What?
Didn't make your top 10? So that's number 11?
What is my 10? Because I only did a top 10.
All right.
What's the one that you didn't put in there?
10.
Okay.
What did I not put in there? Shoot, I got Love Is on My Side. I'm Yours, Moving On. Always on My Mind. Give Me You, Best Friend, Broken Hearted. I Want to Be Down, Baby. What did I not put in here? As Long As You're Here, maybe not. As Long As You're Here may not be on the list. Yeah, as long as you're here.
Okay. So that's number 11. Okay. So that was your number 11. Okay. So we can go back to number 10 then. So because Stevie probably put the same one as Love Is on Your Side because he didn't write it down. So my number 10 then is a song that I did think it felt like a gospel track, I'm Yours. And that was also by Keith Crouch. No, let me see.
Give Me You is the gospel track now.
No. Yeah, I'm Yours. That was Damian Thomas.
We started off in the right mess here, haven't we, with this top 10 and 11.
Yeah, but
you're telling me that I'm Yours sounds like it's Give Me You sounds like a gospel. It's a gospel track.
Yeah, no, there were 2 of them, but I'm Yours was what.
Oh my! What are you doing?
What I put.
What album are you listening
to? Moving on.
Damon Thomas. He worked a lot with Babyface, and he was Kim Kardashian's first husband when she was a teenager.
Are you kidding me?
Speaking of the Ray J connection, right? He was Kim Kardashian's first husband.
Okay. So okay, so that's the connection. I'm glad we've got Miss J from TMZ to help fill in the gaps in there. Okay. Okay. So my number 10 is yours. Miss J, what's let me see. Tim Lee put as long as you're here and Macwood moving on. Goodness.
Can I play a second of something or no? Sunny Day.
What's
Can I
that?
play a second of it or no? Play a
Can you
second
what?
of Sunny Day?
Oh, you go
A
ahead. Let's
hot
see what
second.
happens.
Hot second. Because remember, I think I sent it to you. Is this the one? Maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's not this one. But that's Sunny Day. Sunny Day is, I think it's a very positive, teen appropriate song and a positive vibe. But I thought it was just a decent song. So that's why it's on number 10.
Wow, I'm stunned.
It's cute.
That's a solid track.
Okay. What about you, Stevie? What did you put down?
If this was the remix, it wouldn't be at number 10. But it isn't the remix, and I had to get my sleeping bag out for this song. Broken Hearted is at number 10.
What?
Yeah. The album mix is I'm waiting for it to get. I'm 2.5 minutes in, waiting for it to something to get going, and then I watched the video and it's got Wayne and Morris in, and I'm like, why isn't this version on the album? What's going on? Because that's a killer version, but this album version's just like, jeez, man, I'm so.
I don't know. I mean,
Has your album version got Wayne Morris on it? Have I got?
No, but I did. I preferred her version without him in it.
There's a soul. Have you the Soul Power remix on the CD single? There's a Soul Power. Your friends, the Soul Power Namdi, did a brilliant like I say, it's a remix. It'd be my top 5 that, but because it's the album version, it sounds completely. The album version is completely different to the Wayne and Morris version and the Soul Power remix. It's just really.
Yeah, I actually prefer, because I remember I actually didn't like the one when they were doing their duet, and I remember listening to the album version and thought, this is actually much better. It flowed better, but as I said, it was just preference, But okay, so that's your number 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not enough, huh?
Okay.
Struggled with that. Struggled.
Goodness.
And I didn't want to sit in my room all alone, feeling all broken hearted. You know what I mean? So
yeah, okay. I think my number 9, I put down As Long As You're Here. It was a nice track, a nice song. Who did this song? As Long As You're Here, Sunny for the People, and it did. It had the same elements of the Sunny Days and stuff. But I think they really did some real good stuff with her on the album. But I would say that when from number 9 all the way up to number 6, I could have interchanged. So from 9 to 6, they could have they could have moved around. So
from the Red Golden Child, Namdi, get the ratchet comment up, please. Wayne was creepy. Go on, put that comment up.
True.
Wayne was creepy and left Brandy for a Dina Howard. He liked the honey bolts, he liked the ratchet honey. That's what he liked. He gave in to them sins, them temptations us men all fall for with those ratchet ladies.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I think one of the issues I think her parents, they were trying to get her. I don't know why they first had Kobe Bryant. They seemed like they got her dating Wanye. I mean, I think it was just, I don't know why if they felt that she needed to have somebody, and they were having these older guys after the daughter. It just didn't sit right. Because in Moesha, she's playing this young kid, she's singing like a young kid, and then now she's going out dating these older guys. It just felt a little a little weird.
Kanye was first.
I don't.
Kanye was the first one. Then it was Kanye. Then it was Kobe, and they tried to act like they were just friends. They were here in Cleveland together before. So,
well, you know, in life, and I relate going into a supermarket, guys. I'm sure all you guys have been through this situation. You're pushing your trolley down one aisle, and along walks a very classy Miss J type of lady, very beautiful, all looking, and you think, wow, you know what I mean? This is wifey material here. And then you turn the corner, so you got that choice. Think, yeah, fantastic choice. Then you turn the corner, and then you get the ratchet baddie booty shaking, and
that's what they're gonna leave me for. They will leave me for the ratchet in a minute.
And your hormones go all over the place, don't they? And you know, and you just get. Unfortunately, we all give into that at some point of our lives. We all give into that temptation, don't we, fellas? You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what. We end up going back to the Miss J's of the, because you know
they don't want the good clean girls. They don't want the good clean girls. They want the Adina Howard, freak in the morning, freak in the day, just like us. That's what they want.
Okay, we say what's your number 9?
Moment, you know, his eyes are wondering. I believe I do.
My eyes are always fixed and straight. So what's number 8 for you? And number 9, Miss J.
Love Is on My Side. I put in my note here. It started off with tennis shoes on her vocal cords because she did 30 seconds of runs. She was running for like 30 seconds in the intro of that song. But it was just a decent song. You know, this is not my favorite Brandy album, so I have like 4 songs on here that I love. So Love Is on My Side. It's just an okay song to me. It's decent. So
yeah.
She has a beautiful voice though. So
oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Stevie?
Number 9 was, and I did like this actually, but I've just not. I'd say between 10 and 7, I've just not listened to these songs at all. So this week I'm talking about going over 30 years having the album. So these are the top end. I'd say the Gospelish, Give Me You. I think it's a nice track. I've never really got into it and give it a proper listen, but it is a nice track, so it's number 9 for me.
Okay.
Nice album filler. Nice gospel-y
album filler. No, I thought to me, Give Me You was more of it gave me the vibes of Uptown.
Give Me You did?
Yeah, with the I mean it was the gospel stuff, but the chorus. You know what the whoever, I don't know who sang the background on it, but it gave me that vibe of Uptown where you know the artist is singing and you have somebody from the opposite sex singing the chorus almost, and it was like that's what Uptown was doing, like Christopher Williams, everything you do, having that type of a response, and I'd put down Uptown type of stuff, but also it was the gospel kind of track. Yeah, I had it a little bit higher, but anyway. Okay. Number 8 for me, as I said, so from number 4 to number 8 to number 9, they were, I could have moved them around. So even though it seems to have come down, I love the production by Something for the People on this track. And actually, I'm surprised that Brandy even co-wrote a lot of these tracks. I'm just looking at the credits. When she co-wrote Sunny Days, she co-wrote Give Me You. Oh, and they put it down with co-writing Dedicate, but that was not really a song. Sunny Days, just like Timmy Lee, I put Sunny Days as number 8. I love the sort of.
You two don't rate that track at all. I'm surprised.
No. As I said, it you know they're all around the same, but yes, Sunny Days was number 8 for me. I loved it. It was a nice little vibe and stuff, but I think I liked how she delivered some of the other tracks better. But yeah, Sunny Days is mine.
Sunny Days.
What did you get for number 8?
Number 8, I have is Whitney inspired vocals, very churchy vibe. I'm Yours. and I'm trying to remember. I'm Yours. Is that the one where it kind of sounds like Mint Condition? Like it's two Mint Condition songs. It kind of reminds me of in parts of the song. But yeah, number 8. It didn't really move me, but her voice. I love the breathiness of her voice on the song.
Okay. Breathiness of the voice. Okay.
I wish I could play it. But you know how when she does those runs, like you could tell like it's the Whitney Houston-esque of like, don't get me to do it. I cannot do that. But I really want to try.
You can try something. You can try something similar.
No. Not on this song. I don't know it well enough. I have to like hear it and then sing it. But like I just thought I could hear that she was inspired by Whitney when the intro, like when she first started singing, and it's just really her vocals are really beautiful. But it was just, to me, I feel like filler. Most of the songs to me felt like filler songs, and besides the singles.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the singles she released. I said, I was going through the singles there. I Want to Be Down, Baby, Best Friend, Broken Hearted. Yeah. Okay. So, what about you, Stevie?
I think
What was
really
number 8 for you?
these tracks that are put from say 10 to 7, I realise they're what I call growers. I think you need time and more attention, but more plays, and I think I do believe you'll really get into them because, like you say, the vocals are great. Just the way you've really got to take it in. So number 8, it sounded really nice. I'm Yours. It's had a nice track, but I just haven't listened to them, and I feel bad for that because they are classy tracks. You know, they are classy. You know, they're not big out. You know, singles, are they? Really, they're just good album fillers that I think I would class them as growers. I know they grow on me. You know, if I actually had played this album more, I think they would. So yeah, I'm Yours at number 8 for me.
Okay. Yeah. But as I said, this is an album that I just kept rinsing, playing over the past couple of weeks, just to get a sense of what I'm doing.
So, Nambi, I have a question about I'm Yours to you. Do you remember this? So can you like not even listen to it? Can you remember it when you're just talking about it? Can you remember the song? How it goes?
Yeah.
Okay, not after 7. Mint Condition. And if it's love you need, that you know what I'm talking about? Someone to Love from Mint Condition.
Oh yeah.
That is in there somewhere. Do you hear that? Like I think that this came before Mint Condition, but it's how she sings that the hook part is very similar to Mint Condition.
I need to listen to this song again.
Yeah, you did send it to me, but my ears aren't as.
I didn't send you that one. I didn't send you that one. I sent you the next song I'm going to say. I sent you El DeBarge and Moving On.
Okay.
We must do a Mint Condition album at some point. We must.
Yeah. Moving On is my number. Hey, Derek from Minneapolis. Moving On is my number 7. And it was the beginning, nice little intro track. But it wasn't one of the strongest ones. So yeah, it got to number 7 for me. Moving on. Keith Crouch, good. I think what I liked about the Keith Crouch productions is that it felt as if he used an actual band in playing. You feel like you can hear the bass player.
What was his tag? It was Human Rhythm Productions, wasn't it? That was his tag. That's what we'd known. That was what he was known as. He was called Human Rhythm Productions, and it has, like I say, a human rhythm feel to his productions. That's what when we used to buy his productions. He did some stuff, great stuff for Layla Hathaway as well.
Okay.
Looking back, so
yeah, no, definitely. I appreciated the musicality of this album. Because I'm listening
guy
to
he worked with. Remember Rashan Patterson?
Yeah. And I think that's I'm listening to this. I'm thinking, oh, okay, I like I love the production. I love the musicality. But I they could have put a stronger song as the lead single on the album when you started off. I just thought it was yeah.
You mean the lead song? Okay.
Number 7 for you, Miss J. What was it?
It's the same song as you just picked. Moving on, we agree on that. I put that musically, It sounds like it was left off of El DeBarge's In the Storm album because it sounds like 2 songs. My Heart Belongs to You musically and Vic musically. So can I play a second? So moving on is that's her, right?
Come on, guys, listen to that.
Okay.
That's
So
the bass.
Keith Crouch also worked on In the Storm, El DeBarge, and he worked on this song. Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
That's My Heart Belongs to You. So like he was heavy on Brandy's album and heavy on this album. And there's another song too that I sent you I did not play. It's this one. Sounds so much like I'm Yours. I mean, moving on. That's El DeBarge.
So he's using the bass quite a lot, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Did you take that song from El DeBarge and didn't use it and put it on Brandy? That's what I got.
Oh, you've done your homework this evening, Miss J. You've done your homework. I like it. That's very good. Give her a pay rise, Namdi, after the show. Give her a pay rise.
Yeah.
Get more fashions for the show.
So we both have Moving On as number 7. What about you, Steve? What's your 7?
As Long As You're Here at number 7. Again, another nice track that I need to. I just don't know it enough. I'm sorry. From 6 onwards, I know all the tracks, but I've done all the tracks now that I just don't know very well. And as long as you're here, as long as I'm here, and we're all here, and you're all here, we're all happy. So that's my number 7.
Okay. Number 6 for me was her second single that she released. Baby, baby,
What?
baby, baby.
That high up.
Don't you know that you're so fine? Yeah. Yeah, it was number 6 for me.
Get the gloves on, Miss J. Get them on.
Doom, 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 doom. I think, production-wise, you got the boxing gloves. So. I just like it. It was. I think I overheard it. It just felt like it got rinsed and played. Emma continually had give me you. What did I have? Give me you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So baby, baby was number 6 for me. Yeah. Loves harmonies. Yeah. What about you, Miss J? What's your number 6?
I can't believe you just said that.
What happened? Did you even put it?
That is the best song on the album.
Baby, baby.
Have you heard the?
He put it at number 11 or something like that. He'd even put it in his top 10. Oh, maybe number 10.
That's the best song.
It's a great song.
If you don't even listen to the music,
what did you put it as, Stevie?
We'll get to that, won't we?
Right.
Oh, you haven't caught it out yet. Okay, I thought you
number 7, 6, aren't we? Come on, we got with the 90s. Yeah.
Number 6. Always on my mind. Always on my mind. I put decent, teenage appropriate filler.
That's a good record, that, Miss J. That is a very good record.
I just wasn't feeling this album like that.
Okay, Brandy stole the yeah and Oops, I Did It Again from which track?
Thank you.
From Britney Spears.
No, Britney Spears stole it. That's what she said.
I didn't know that.
You're always on my mind. Okay. I don't know why I'm singing it.
Really
you like it?
Go ahead, Stevie.
My number 6. It started my first draft. I only did 2 drafts because I thought it was very easy. This was quite easy to compile this top 10, but it started off at number 4, but it's moved back to number 6 because I thought 2 of the tracks were slightly stronger. But I went for the album opener, Moving On. Like I say, that guitar at the beginning, I really like that. But it's a good album track. It could have got some good remixes if it was a single, but didn't make my top 5. But number 6 for me, Moving On. But I do like that track. Thought it's a strong opener, good album opener. That. got you into the groove,
So
got you really into the album.
Marco, yeah, as you said, Stevie, that Keith Crouch worked with Rasheed Patterson and he co-wrote "Baby" and with Keith Crouch. So yeah, you can see the connection
Baby,
there.
you're so fine. You put that at number 6.
Yeah, I had it
Oh,
number
dear
6.
me.
I think it because I overheard it. You know,
I know what you mean. I
when
understand that you overhear something and it doesn't
Yeah.
feel the same anymore because
it doesn't feel the same. Yeah, no, yeah. I thought I was just gonna have it in my top 3, but I think I was just like, no, it just was played so much.
I feel like that
But
with Tammy Lucas. Is it good to you? I've just played it. That played it so many times, Namdi. Because
no, but when we did the Poison album, there were some of the tracks that you just felt like if it was back in the 90s, you would have rated him higher. So yeah, sometimes when you're listening to it so much, it just so I turned off.
I'll be honest though, it still sounds amazing. Maybe because I didn't play it too much, overplay it, but Baby still sounds amazing now.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, yeah, it's musically, it's such a well-produced album, and it feels as if it was a kind of album that you and I think this is one of the things that Mint Condition were very good at. If you ever see them live, like I did so many times, they sound like the album. And I think the production that Keith Crouch and even Something for the People did is that I think Brandy live would emulate the album because it didn't feel programmed. It felt like they really used the band. And I remember speaking to G1, who was Brandy's music director before he got a call to join Death Row. They were really, I think even DOA Allen was also touring with them. So Brandy really had a real strong group of musicians supporting on the road for this debut album. Yes. Number 5 for me is I loved it, but not as much as to get into my top. It to be number 5, and that's "Give Me You." As I said, I love the fact that what I missed about songs today was the fact that the backing vocals almost feeding off of each of the singing, and that's why I put down Uptown, and Uptown were really good at that, of having people singing. I remember if you even listen to Guy, "Don't Leave Me," and you can have Tammy, singing. When Guy did, is it "Don't Leave Me"? Is it "Don't Leave Me"? Baby, let's stay together.
I love.
Baby, let's stay. No, stay together. Let's stay together. Maybe things will be the same. Give me a chance. And then you have Tammy singing the echo in the chorus. And I think that was one of the things that Uptown and they were really good at. Or even when Intro did that song, having the response, and this is what "Give Me You." I really picked up on that when she was singing, and even the lyrics as well. So yeah, "Give Me You" is my number 5.
Well, we agree on that. Number 5 is "Give Me You" for me as well.
Okay.
It sounds like a youth choir in the background, though. To me, it sounds like a youth choir.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's it was definitely but as I said, it was the response back is something that I loved it as well. "Give Me You." Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Stevie, what made you number 5?
"It's a Sunny Day." Da, 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 da,
Okay.
da, da, da. Like I was saying earlier, had that acid jazz feel to it, and I thought maybe a mix with Far Side on would have sounded great. But again, it's another good, strong album track, and it's very befitting of the album and her. I think that track. So it got to. I think it was at number 6 at first, but it got to number 5. I thought it's a very classy track. "It's a Sunny Day," and it's a very memorable hook on the chorus. So I do actually remember listening to that back at the time when I did play the album. One of the tracks that I would play from the album. It's a sunny day.
Yeah, no, it just felt melodic and some of the production on that. I think that Something for the People really didn't get the credit as producers. They had that big track with Tina and Tamar. Was it
Jesse Powell sisters.
Okay. Yeah, the Jesse Powell sisters. Yeah,
Trina
they
and
had that big
Tamara.
hit with Tina and Tamar. Yeah, they had that big hit with them. Number 4 for me. You're always on my mind. It sounded like an SWV track, and especially also with the backing vocals as well. You're always on my mind. Yeah, I just felt it was just like, wow, why didn't they release
should have been
that?
a single that.
I don't know why they didn't release it. Yeah, I think I think the challenge they had was the album came out in '94. Broken Hearted was released in '95, the remix version, and then she went in '96. She did Sitting in the Waiting to Excel soundtrack song, which got to number 2 in the Billboard charts, and then sang on Missing You, and then it took them 4 years before they put it back on another when Never Say Never came out. But in between that time, she was probably doing the Cinderella and acting and doing Moesha. So it took 4 years before they did the follow-up album. But they could have released a little bit more singles. Like I think Always on My Mind would have been a nice, beautiful one to release. And that's my number 4. What about you, Miss
My
J?
number
What's
4
for
is
you?
Best Friend.
Wow.
Y'all don't like that song?
Yeah.
I actually thought it'd be a little bit higher up, but okay.
For me.
Wow.
Is it that do you have anything against Ray J, who was her best friend?
I don't think I have anything against him. I don't have anything against him. I just think that I don't think they're best friends now. Remember, they had a reality show, and Ray J was he was a brat. He was the mother's favorite, and he treated Brandy kind of bad sometimes, and saying she was jealous of him. And to me, she's a better singer than him.
But Ray J's not a singer.
Ray J.
He's Ray J's like he's a reality star,
right.
You know. Yeah, he's not a singer. He's good at what he does, you know, at just being famous for being Ray J, but singing wise, remember when he sang what's that his song? One Kiss or One Wish? And then he did the verses, he had his little boy.
Oh, what was that? What was that, Verses?
Yeah, he did verses against Omarion, and then he sang his One Wish. And I think without auto tunes, I think it's like, yo, boy, you can't really sing. And he was eating Was he eating watermelon on the stage? I mean, yeah, Ray J is good at being Ray J. And
his first album had a really good single on it, though. Let It Go. That was a good.
Yes,
really,
I did like
really
that
good
one.
Single.
I did like that one. That was good.
Is that which one did he do with the Neptunes?
That would have Let It Go was way before that. Let It Go was 90s, but I don't know what he did with Neptunes.
Yeah, late 90s. He did that one with the Neptunes, and I think there might have been a Teddy Riley remix on that one as well. If I'm
on Let It Go.
No, on the Neptunes one that Namdi's talking about.
Okay. Anyway, Ray J is Ray J. So, best friend, you put it at number 4. Okay. What about you, Stevie?
It was nice to remind myself of this particular track that you've just mentioned, Namdi. Always on my mind.
Okay.
I had it at number 6, but I've moved it up to number 4. I just thought, very strong record. This very strong. I was watching a performance she did at the Apollo. She actually performed it at the Apollo back then as well. It's on YouTube in Harlem. But yeah, really very strong track, and it's good to rediscover this track today for me this week.
Yeah, that definitely. Okay, these guys have all come chimed in. Wait a minute. With the Neptunes featuring
Yeah,
Lil Kim.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, yeah. And this was when the Neptunes would just give you the same beat as they gave everyone else and just change the title of the song. It was the Neptunes featuring Ray J. You don't own the song because it's their trademark
Okay.
sound, and you just sing the same thing
Well,
that they So
for about 2 years, every label wanted a Neptunes mix, and I just think they took on too much work. Where the three of them were just chucking the same. They're changing the melodies and chords; they were different, but the actual beat, the snare beat sounds, the drum, the bass drum, they're all the same on all them. But they were hear them in a club, because I used to hear them in a club, and it used to sound fantastic. It's not dated now, but
I think their best work was when they did Mystical, because that was when they were still fresh. Danger,
that's a great track.
Danger. Yeah, it's been so long. Yeah, I love this. That was when, when they started. I mean, we digress. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so we are in our top three, and as I said, sometimes a remake can make a difference. We have Human Nature, SWV right here, and even when they did the remake on the Above the Rim soundtrack, what was that? Anything. So sometimes you can do a remake and you feel, when Blackstreet joined Janet Jackson to do "I Get So Lonely," you bring in a guest person to do the verse you normally would do, and they'll add some richness to it. At number three for me, I love the album version more so than the remakes. Only broken hearted. I just love it was just slow. It was like, wow, I'm taking my time. I didn't like 1 year coming to overdo it and add something in there. I just love the natural how it was meant to be, and I felt like, wow, this is really a nice.
Have you ever watched
cricket,
Namdi, on the TV, like on a summer afternoon, where you hear the ball go like that, and he's hit the wood, and you're just on the couch and you're just like that? That's just how this song is. You listen about 2.5 minutes in, you're like, it's like watching cricket on TV, or golf on the TV.
No.
Going at 100 mile, like 200 mile an hour. Like you can't follow the ball in the air because the ball's going too fast. You just fall asleep.
I love the vibe of the track, and I just thought, okay, I like her singing, and I thought they should have just let her just do her stuff herself. So Broken Hearted, love the track, number 3 for me.
Wow, you made it that far up.
I think what happens with slow jams for me is that if it's done right, it becomes if it's done right, it will just sit.
And dare I ask this, Namdi, have you ever been broken hearted?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, back in college.
Some lady ever broke your heart, Namdi? Have you ever been through that feeling?
I don't not necessarily as the song would tell. Yeah, not necessarily. But as I said, it was just maybe I like the production and I like how she sounded with it. And then I actually, be honest, when she did the remake with 1A, I didn't like that. So when I listened to the album, I'm like, my goodness, why did she just do it herself? So that was it. It was just. I think maybe by this time, 1A just oversang everything, and I just felt like, and maybe it was the relationship. This old man with this young girl. Maybe I just got turned off by that, so I just didn't. I don't appreciate the song, and so I'm listening to her on her own.
And a young girl.
Call him old man.
What?
Yeah, but she was like 16 or so.
It was inappropriate.
Yeah, so it just felt the whole relationship. It just didn't feel right. So I think that's what I turned me off about the whole thing. So when I listened to her singing on her own, and Shy Boy Shade said solidified, like, okay, this is I actually preferred this one. It was, as I said, if she sang it with, say, Usher when he at that age of, I probably would have thought, okay, I could believe the vibe, maybe, but when he just felt older and stuff. Okay, I called him an old man, but yeah, he was 27. She was what, 16?
That
It
much
just
of a
didn't feel
difference?
right.
Oh my God.
It just didn't feel right.
Oh.
Yeah, Racer as well. Yeah, she preferred the solo version of Broken Hearted. I did. Yeah, it was just, yeah, it's strange. I think if I listened to it, yeah, maybe it's just this aesthetics of the two just didn't seem to work out for me. But I did love the album version so much. That's number 3 for me.
Well, I agree with you. That's my number 3 as well. Broken Hearted. And I do love her voice on it, the production of it. I don't even think about the YA version. I just think about Brandy's version. Don't even remember.
But what did you think of the they brought Aaliyah into the conversation?
About what?
No, DJ All Day brought Aaliyah into the conversation with her relationship with he who cannot be named. But what did you think of the 1 year one? If you had a choice between
Honestly,
the two,
I don't even remember the 1 year one. I didn't even go back and listen to that one because him and that head movement. I no. Whenever he's singing it, his head.
Wow.
1 year was supposed to be her mentor.
Honestly, I remember back when she broke up with him, she said he was kind of not right. I don't want to say the words she said about him, but it was kind of a bad breakup, and I don't know if it's true, but he wasn't the greatest to her. Besides the Adina Howard thing, it was other stuff that they said. He was kind of controlling, and so yeah, I'm not gonna even. I might want to listen to it, but might not, because after hearing his interview about him dating her and how young she was, and he was like patting himself on the back for it, kind of disgusting. Kind of disgusting. So, yeah, we don't need Kanye on there. We don't need him.
No. Yeah, I mean, no one doubts his singing ability, but I just think it was just, I don't know what the parents were going through. Now you see, they did the same with Aaliyah. They knew what was happening, but they were like, man, this was our golden ticket, man. So we don't mind. I'm sure they all showed up at the wedding. They gave permission for the wedding.
Are you serious?
So it wasn't like so. Yes, they did. This is money. You're talking about making millions and everything. They all were all in it, and so But now we're seeing Brandy's parents shopping her to Wanye and Kobe and stuff. So you can see that these parents were involved because they're like, we need to get in. We need to, we need you to be successful. So these parents were doing this to boost their kids. Look at the Kardashian. The mom was behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ray J said, look, it was her mom that planned everything and said, look, we can blow up. So these parents, they
should be in jail.
It was all.
They should be in jail if that's the case.
Yeah. What the reason why Shanice didn't blow up is because her mum had her back and was like, no, she's not going to do that, and then that's why she didn't get her success.
Shanice was beautiful and talented. Beautiful.
Yeah, but mum knew about the business, and mum was like, no, protecting her daughter. Very different than some of the others that were like, yeah, whatever you want and stuff like that. Why would they let Beyonce marry Jay-Z? She never dated anybody, and they say, oh, this old man comes around and says, yeah, I want your daughter. Well, hey, and now she's the biggest star in the world. Yeah, that's a good trade-off. Yeah, parents were pimping their kids out to make the money, and it is evidence. If they weren't stealing the money, they were pimping them out to get them to be rich. So,
wow, strong words for you. I'm stunned tonight, Namdi. The strongest.
Well, yeah. I mean,
fair play to you. Fair play for your opinion. Fair play.
No, but I also I spoke to an R&B artist who also confessed that he was also offered Brandy. He was also told, do you want to take it to this date and stuff like that? And he was like, no, this it's just, she'd already gone through 1 year and all the others, and and I think when he turned it down, she went with Kobe. So they people inside were saying, look, the parents were trying to, I don't know the reasons why. They should have just let her. She's a generational talent, and they could have just let that stay as it is.
you know, let's have this right. And I'm not just talking about underage girls here. I'm talking about girls, young girls in general, 18 to 25. They're not looking at guys that younger than them or even the same age. They're looking at older guys. I'm not talking like pension age men. They're looking at mature guys. So let's get in perspective here. Girls that age go for, ladies after 30s, 40s won't like me saying this, but girls that age go for older guys, mature guys. They do. And it's a fact.
Mariah Carey did not, but she went after, she was with Tommy Mottola to get in the door, but after being controlled by her, she was like, it was a hard breakup for her. These guys, unfortunately for a lot of these women, the Me Too movement started way too late. It way too late for them. And so as I said, just thinking about, I'm really upset about her parents. Yeah, they guided her. They made deals when it came to TV and everything. But in those early days and this whole marriage stuff, they really, I don't understand what they were gaining from this. Why they should protect their daughter? She had the talent, and that's Wanye shouldn't have been around her. I don't know why they needed it. She didn't need that. So I think that's I've just been upset. And you look at Jay-Z and Beyonce. Beyonce was an amazing person before she got married to him. You'd see her on interviews, you'd see her goofing around. She didn't take herself seriously. She gets married to him. She just becomes almost a different person altogether. And this was her first relationship, and they just allowed it. But look at they've reaped the benefits of the billions and stuff now. But you can see that this was a trade-off. It's never they didn't look for her best interest. So anyway, that's normally I'm pretty cool.
I'm just interested
with all this
to hear
stuff.
what Miss J thinks of all this as well, because as a woman growing up, from your perspective, was you interested in guys younger than you, older than you, around your age?
No, only on TV, like that one. I wanted this one. I like the man on.
You weren't interested in any other guys in your area that may be older or younger?
Age. No,
not your age.
Like they could be a year or two older than me, and that was it. If they were 2 years older than me, no, I did not like guys older, 10 years older. Now I'll take me a 101-year-old paraplegic.
There you go. You
think? No, but back then I just think that was definitely wasn't the. But as I said, she had the time. She was already in the door. They didn't need to do what they were doing, and Beyonce also. She was, but it was a gamble that's paid off for them. But I just don't know. So anyway, I think Shanice's story highlights the difference when you have a parent who protects you against, and it affected her career because she didn't blow up as she should have. But she's in a better place. Some of the others, it just didn't work out because they were pimping her around. But anyway,
I'm just reading a comment from Hopeful there. Don't. We don't need to put it up, but that is bad. That is out of order. In one of your experiences there, that is bad. But anyway, what number are we at?
You're number three.
Number
Stevie.
3. This is such a great track. Love this so much. Any of these tracks could have been my number 1, but no. In fact, my number 1 is my number 1. I'm going to stick by it. But this Baby's at number 3. Baby, so fine. Oh, brilliant track. Just so catchy. I bought the 12-inch with the remixes on. In fact, I've got a really good, I'm sure it's the 3 Boys from Newark remix, which was on, didn't get released. It was on like a promotional 12 or CD single. But if you can find that 3 Boys from Newark mix, it's an amazing mix. It might have been that or Best Friend. It's one of them. I haven't played it in so long, but Baby, number 3 for me, easily number 3. Could be number 2, It's that good, but I'm not sick of hearing it now. I know you are, but I'm not personally.
Right.
And I know Mr.
Yeah,
by the sounds of it.
yeah. I won't say I think it's just when you overhear a song, it can get, you can feel like that. Um, RD, and hopefully you both were talking about. I'm just put the link to the interview I did with Tracy Spencer.
Name checking again, Namdi. Name checking again, eh? Your friend Tracy Spencer.
Tracy,
But
also
when we do Michael Jackson's Bad, I'm gonna have to pull out my photograph, Namdi. I'm gonna have to pull out my photograph of me and Michael Jackson together, which I've been taking.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah. Did you just hear what I said just then? I'm gonna have to pull my photograph out of me and Michael Jackson. I'll save it. I'll save it.
Goodness.
You'll be stunned.
But also, Soul Shock. He's the one who helped me get Tracy, but he also said that she had been burned by the industry, and they wanted her to conform, and then she was just she just walked away completely, and she was at a low point. So it's just you need protection, and she had a dad who was 6'4", massive, and he was always there to protect. But then when he got ill, he couldn't be there. But it's hard, Tony Terry, and he said that he wishes that if any advice to a young girl who wanted to get in the industry, he would say, don't go. Don't join, because it is not safe. It's a lot different now. Hopefully, it's a lot better.
It's not.
But it just upsets me. Yeah, I think the Me Too shifted it a little bit more.
No, what the difference
it's still
is with Me Too is the reason why we didn't have Me Too back then, because we didn't have the internet back then. They couldn't, even if they did speak up, nobody was listening. But you've got the internet now. You can go on IG, you can tell people it, and it'll spread instantly. So they got power now. They got the power to get out there and get that movement going. It's just a shame it's 34 too late, Yeah,
it definitely is, But anyway, we digress. So we're celebrating Brandy. So number 2 for me.
What was Miss J's number? Did we do Miss J's number 3?
We both had Broken Hearted
we
as
did,
number 3.
Sorry, we got so sidetracked with all this.
And then you got Baby as number 3. Number 2 was my second favorite track on the album, which hence it's number 2. I love the musicality of this, and I loved the when it drops and goes up. But I also like the fact that it felt like it was sincere, and for her age, it made sense. And this is Best Friend. I'm watching her doing her little dance with her brother in the video, and I'm listening to the lyric, and I can think, yes, it's a song, a universal song that actually feels as if is age appropriate. When you listen to Usher's debut album, beautiful songs, amazing production, but the songs weren't age appropriate. Can I Get With It with Devontae? I love the track, but it wasn't for a 14-year-old child, And so for me, Best Friend just felt like, wow, that's how you do it. Or I Like Your Smile, Sinise. It felt as if, we understood the mission. We got this little kid here. How do we write a song that she can bob to, that everyone can feel like, oh, this is not bad. So that's definitely I have to give it up for them for putting up a song like that. Best Friend. I love the track, love the whole vibe, the innocence of it, and it was very believable. And so Best Friend is number 2 for me. Yes.
Great track. Great.
I almost feel like I'm doing and Dragon's Den trying to sell my trying to sell and explain why I did it. But that's why it surprised me that when she came out with her Never Say Never, that Keith Crouch was just almost relegated. I don't know, did they have a fallout or something? It just didn't make sense why somebody who gave a 6 million selling album would just be relegated. I mean, of course, Rodney is Rodney and stuff like that, but I just didn't understand why you just, even though, yes, he would justify the fact that it did 3 times the sales, but I will always say that it was based on that one big hit, The Boy's Mine, which was a global hit. But anyway,
I disagree with that.
I digress.
I disagree with that. The Boy's Mind was not the only good song on there. There was so many other good songs on the album. But my number 2, I can't probably remember the hand gesture. What was it, y'all? That was I Want to Be Down. I love the album cover version. I love the remix version even better with Queen Latifah and all the female rappers at the time. I Want to Be Down was like a hard hitting track on that. To me, that's the best, one of the best. My 1 and 2 are the best tracks on the whole album to me, and they sold the album. I think, like, you talking about The Boy's Mind sold the album, my top 1 and 2, I think, sold the album, because that was like the first single from, when we first heard Brandy's song, we were like, well, who is this? Yes, and get a little bit. That's sold the album. That sold the album, y'all. My number 2. Yeah.
It is funny. Best album. I want to know what was in the notes that Whitney gave her. Oh goodness, that's so messy. Yeah, goodness, it's hard to imagine. It was it for Anyway, that whole Whitney Houston stuff. I when it comes to this stuff, I don't like the conspiracy stuff. I mean, whether from Michael, Prince, or Whitney, and stuff like that. But anyway, I just enjoyed just celebrating them. But yeah, "Want to Be Down," really good song, and it's definitely a good introduction. Stevie, what's your number 2 for you?
If we're judging this on production, this would be number 1, because how many R&B records do you hear with a flute in it? It's got a flute in this. Let's think about that. But the actual groove and the beat, that boom, 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 boom. I mean, that is a deep, deep black groove. That is just like, just superb production. It's the best production on the album, and it killed me not to put it at number 1. The only reason it's not number 1 because I've just got a lasting memory from a number 1. But Best Friends at number 2. It's like, you know, when you get people who sample records from the 90s or sample, it's yet to be sampled. That, and that didn't sample anything. It wasn't. It was a pure, made proper original groove. That you don't get many on, like flute in it. But again, lovely, great song. Just brilliant track. Number 2's Best Friend, easily on this album. Could have been number 1, but Best Friend is just great track.
That flute sold you, huh? Yeah. That flute got to you.
That beat as well, that boing, bum, bum. Right beginning, you just proper black groove, deep groove that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I said, definitely a big fan of that.
If you put that like 5 upwards, then you shouldn't. You go back and please. Please, I don't know what is wrong with you. I don't know what is wrong.
Yeah,
it's too good of a track to not be in your top 5. It's too good of a track.
It definitely is. So we've now. So I'm going to count down. I'm going to count down from number 10 down to number 1. I'm Yours was my number 10. As long as you're here is my number 9. Sunny Days was number 8. Moving On was number 7. Baby was number 6. Gimme You was number 5. Always on My Mind was number 4. Broken Hearted, number 1. Best Friend at number 2. And a song that I can still remember the video, I can still remember the vibe and almost the innocence of it. Um, it's hard not to put I Want to Be Down as number 1. It was the first thing we saw, and it grabbed our attention just because, as I said about Best Friend, this was also another one, almost like it reminded me of Can We Talk? Because she's saying, she's just having that innocent conversation about, do you want to go out with me? Can we be down and stuff? And it felt age appropriate, because things were getting crazy when we started seeing Britney Spears doing "Baby, Baby, Hit Me Off One More Time," dressed, in a uniform, or Christiana Aguilera going from "Genie in a Bottle" to "Dirty." Oh, is it Dirty? Yeah, I mean, it was just like, what are they doing to these young girls? Taking them from one to another, and just having something sweet and innocent, and I felt like, okay, this is, she was being looked after. But it felt like, yeah, I can see high school kids dancing and really appreciating this and feeling like, yes, the innocence. Unfortunately, they have Sexy Red telling them something different. They've got Megan Thee Stallion giving them a different vibe, or Ode or WAP, what's her name, Cardi B. They've got very different type of, or some of the other singers now, just giving them a very different type of sound that's just is really poisoning our young black girls. But when you're listening to "I Want to Be Down" in a very sweet way, you're just like, okay, this is what you make great music for the right type of age. Sinise's "I Love Your Smile" is another one of those tracks where innocent, relaxed, and stuff that you can really relate to. So yes, the remix took it to another level. It was like, oh, okay, and I think it started this whole vibe of getting all these females to come rap, because Total did theirs with I Can No One, is it No One Else? Then you had Ladies Night, so it almost started that sense of, let's get all the girls to our female rappers to get involved. Queen Latifah, about this tall, about this, it was a nice little thing getting the old school female MCs together. But I still go down to the original version, the video, the innocence of them in the playground. I Want to Be Down, my favorite track on the album.
Good one.
Mic drop.
I don't know about the Brandy song. I don't think you said "hit me off one more time." I don't think that's what you said, but she did say "hit me, baby."
No. I was saying that the way a lot of the young girls went from singing these innocent songs. Christiana Aguilera did "Genie in a Bottle," really nice innocent stuff. Then she went and did "Dirty." Britney Spears started off doing her Disney stuff, and then she comes off with "Hit Me Off One More Time," but dresses so sexual.
"Hit me off" was not what she said.
Oh, what did she sing?
Hit me, I thought it was music. "Hit me, baby, one more time." I thought she was talking about a beat, but I'm naive to stuff. She didn't say "hit me off one more time." But
okay, sorry, I'm mixing the audition.
Right, she didn't say that, because that would be real bad.
Okay, hit me one more time. But what was she singing about? What's she singing about?
You know what? I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was music.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
It could have been that. It could have been what.
Yeah, it could have been. But I'm just saying the innocence of compared. They're probably around the same age or so. But just listen, just see how what was happening there. And when you look at "I Want to Be Down," how age appropriate that was at the time, and that's where that's where I'm talking about. Yeah, she's basically singing "Hit Me Off," but
That just sound real bad.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I was thinking about New Editions hit me off, but I knew it was a hit me baby one more time. But what was she singing about?
That could have been it,
You know,
but I just wasn't paying.
it
I
could
wasn't
have been
paying
it.
attention to her like
Yeah.
that though. Like I wasn't, because her voice was very like Mickey Mousey, like, you know. So I just couldn't. I don't know. That voice was so crazy. Like, I just could not get with her music.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah. But
I get it. You're right. You're right.
So anyway, but that's why that's the reason why it's my favorite. It's just the fact that it just the image of what I received at that time. Even look at how she dressed in the album cover. Look at like just really age
Right.
appropriate. And they didn't want to try and make her more than she should be. And I think that was what I was referring to. Just the
in the video, Namdi, that kind of is, goes against all of this age appropriate you're talking about.
Was that
There's something in the video that you missed that kind of contradicts all this age appropriate?
Oh, what was that?
The big Jeep in the background. I mean, how could she afford a Jeep at that age? You know what I mean? I don't know. You missed that one, didn't you? The big new Jeep.
If she's 16, 16-year-olds can drive in the States, and you can have
Jeeps
a car.
at 16.
Well, yeah. They get their license at 16. Yeah.
Did you have a Jeep?
If you ever see,
what was that?
Did you have a Jeep? Was you driving a Jeep at 16?
No, sir. I was driving at 16, but no Jeep. No.
You see, yeah, in America you drive at 16. Yeah. So that's that.
Not very age appropriate though, is it, to have a Jeep at 16? Maybe a toy Jeep.
Not financial.
Yeah, but she was. I mean, but it was them. Yeah, it was them having fun as kids.
Would you get your 16-year-old daughter a Jeep for a birthday? I don't know. I know I wouldn't. I don't know.
As I said, in the States, in the UK, it's when they get to college, but in the States, it's 16. If you ever see MTV My Sweet 16,
those spoiled kids, you mean?
Who was it that I can't remember who it was that just got their son. Anyway,
a Jeep for a 16-year-old, is that age appropriate? Yes or no?
Yeah.
It's not even up for debate, but maybe I'm living in a different time zone than you.
A Jeep is just a car. It doesn't mean, it's just a vehicle. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, it was just in the States they were using Jeeps and Hummers and stuff like that. I mean, if some 30-year-old guy,
I'm just thinking,
Wanye drove up. If Wanye drove up in a Jeep. Yeah, no, but that's how. As I said, they if you could afford it, they normally will give them big cars like that. Yeah, if you can afford it, then you normally would buy your kids, Range Rover and stuff like that. So it wouldn't have been seen as a big deal.
You shouldn't even be driving at 16.
We can't drive.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's a whole nother podcast, isn't it? Well, let's get Miss J's top 10.
I got to go from the 10 to. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Sunny Day that y'all love so much was my number 10. Number 9, Love Is on My Side. 8, I'm Yours. 7, Moving On. Ripped from the Elder Barge catalog. 6, Always on My Mind. 5, Give Me You. 4, one of y'all favorites, Best Friend. 3, Broken Hearted. 2, I Want to Be Down. And y'all know what my number 1 is. That you got sick of. But that right there. That right there. Brandy. Baby. The vocals right there, the background, all that. Amazing. The best track on the album. And that's acapella sounding that good. Without the music. Drop the music in there. It's the best song on the entire album. Baby, number 1.
Baby, you're so fine.
Yes.
It was. I mean, as I said, at the time, I didn't mind it, but I think I just listened to it too many times, and it didn't work out for me. Yeah, it didn't work out to be but any higher. But I can't argue it. I want to be down. My best friend, broken hearted, always on my mind. It was number 6 for me. Um, but vocally, I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, man, this girl could actually sing. Because I'll be honest, a lot of people have said, "Oh, Brandy, vocally genius," and I never really, because I didn't, as I said, I didn't really understand what they're saying. Never really liked "Never Say Never," but then preparing for this episode and listening to the album, I'm like, wow, this young kid can actually sing, and I was blown away by what she could do, what seemed effortless at the time, and I could give a new type of appreciation to her. So
Never Say
yes,
Never is great,
definitely.
sir. And so is Full Moon. Michael Jackson is on Never Say Never. Wait, Joe, one of my favorites, Joe Thomas, underrated. Okay, he is singing backgrounds on that album. He is singing background tracks on the Full Moon. Oh my God, you gotta go back and listen. Sorry, I'm feeling like Stevie now. But Brandy's.
Listen, you got to understand, Miss J. Namdi's got a bag. There's got a bag beside him. It's got 30 albums in, and that's what all he knows really. 30 albums. And beyond that, he's struggling, unfortunately. So you've got to educate him. You know what I mean?
So as I'm watching Brandy's "I Want to Be Down." And I'm looking at and like the Jeep was just standing in the background and they're dancing around it. And I'm like, Stevie, what this is them very innocent stuff. She's on the phone talking to her boyfriend,
fair play,
talking to his kid.
Like I say, just in the background.
Yeah, they're just dancing around the Jeep. They didn't get in it and start doing.
I thought it was there for the the kudos really. Want to stick a Jeep?
It was a prop. It was a prop. Look at him dancing around. It just look at him dancing. Such an innocent stuff. And that's why I was watching and thinking, oh, these young kids are having fun. I was in college by the time this was out. I was in university, I mean. And I just felt, okay, what a nice little thing.
Acting like okay, Sierra on top of a vehicle is not what's going on here. Did you ever see Sierra on that vehicle moving for Ludacris? It's not the same thing.
Yeah, no, but she did this, did the dancing stuff, the little kid
that's
there.
Innocent.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about it. Yeah, we dancing around and stuff like that. Anyway, and I never paid attention to the Jeep. Yes,
never noticed.
One drove around in the Jeep.
Miss it.
It's just little kids dancing.
That's what I thought, little kids, and I'm like, why is that Jeep in the background?
Yeah, it was just a prop.
When did the Jeep get sexy? That's what I want to know. When did the Jeep become sexy? Because that's what I want to know. Is it the R. Kelly song? You remind me of a Jeep that got to you? Is that what it was?
You remind me of my Jeep. I want to. If I had to do the sound of the cross there, I just sang.
I think that painted the view of Jeeps.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, we are going to do Never Say Never. We did discuss this yesterday.
A lot went on in those back seats of those Jeeps, but we'll move on. Age
that's where your mind went.
So, Stevie, you're number you're number 10 to number 1.
Number 10, Broken Hearted. Number 9,
wow.
Give Me You.
Sacrilege.
Number 8, I'm Yours. Number 7, As Long As You're Here. Number 6, Moving On. Number 5, Sunny Day. Number 4, Always On My Mind. Number 3, Baby. Number 2, Best Friend. And I go back to the year 1994. It was a tough year for me personally. I spent 3 years at college. I did 2 years at A-level, which I failed. And then on the 3rd year, I went back and did what was then the very first music industry course at college in the UK. It was a brand new course, never been done in the UK before. Me and some guys went to it. We ended up being in like this R&B group for a few months in it, and there was some rock people in it, and people of all grunge and all sorts was going on. But the guy who set the course up after 6 months, he bailed out the course. So the course just fell apart. And I'm like,
Wow.
it's 1994. I've just spent 3 years at college and I've got nothing. I've got no, failed my A levels. I've got not, I've just got absolutely nothing here. So I haven't got a job. I'm not qualified to do anything. I've not got a job. So like you say, I'm like, there's all this music coming out and I just couldn't afford it. And I just remember the only thing I had keep me going at the time was music. And I remember going to one of my favourite record shops at the time, a shop called Slam Jams in Manchester. And my good friend, normally sometimes he pops up in here, Leaky Fresh. He was running the record shop, Slam Jams in the back there. And I went in, it was like a Tuesday afternoon because the imports had come in sometimes on a Tuesday or a Saturday morning. And he had this 12-inch in his hand and he broke the seal and he looked at me and went, Steve, I've got this record for you. I've got this record for you. And he broke out, put the record on the deck. He said, Steve, I can't. And he put the needle and he played it. And I was like, oh my. I'm like, I can't. I'm £6.99. I didn't have £6.99 in my pocket to buy it. I said, please save it for the weekend. Put it in a bag. I'll buy it the weekend. But it was I Want to Be Down, Brandy. And I've never forgot that to this day. I've never forgot how I felt when I first heard that. Because that's how I first heard it. I didn't hear it because it had only just come out in the States. It wasn't out in the UK. So we'd not heard it on the radio. There was no internet then. So it was literally, I first heard that in a shop and he played it me. And he was floored I was floored. And it was the record that everyone was buying it. And if you was going to a club at that time, you'd hear it in the club. So I got to hear it in the clubs as well. So it's a special memory for that for me. And that's probably why it's number one, because I'll never forget that. So,
my goodness. I have to say that when living in the States for the 10, 11 years that I was, I don't think music was, because we had BET, or if you were I was in LA and you had the beat. And so the music you just listening to on the radio, you walk in a Best Buy, you can get it for $8.99. It's not that expensive. And you buy it of CD House or as a Columbia House or BMG. So we love the music, but I don't think we didn't get the singles. We didn't get the maxi singles and the promo stuff that you were getting. And I don't know how many people had that kind of relationship going into a record store to experience listening to it and buying
people
it.
Understand what us music collectors, not just because I wanted to DJ, but I was just collecting. But you don't understand what we sacrificed back then. We sacrificed a lot of our social life because you think about it, we're spending all our money on records. So I couldn't, guys my age, all my college friends were going in a bar drinking beer and smoking. I wasn't doing that. I was sat at home on a Saturday night. If I couldn't go to a club, I'm on my own on a Saturday night listening to my records. That's all I had because I was spending every available penny I had every week buying these records. It wasn't until I met a friend who was a DJ. It says, come, I'll get you in the clubs. I'll get you on the guest list. You don't have to pay in. So I was able to go to a lot of club nights for free because I'd walk in with him. I'd carry his record box. So we'd just walk in. So a lot of the things that 20-year-olds were doing at that time, I wasn't doing them because I'd busted my money on this music, But it paid off in the end. It got me the experiences it got me. So, even chasing girls at that age, it was tough. You're broke, you've got no money. You can't take that girl out to the diner or to Starbucks or whatever it was at the time, or go to the cinema. It just wasn't happening, I didn't get the album. Yeah. I didn't get the album until years later. I couldn't afford it that year.
Yeah, I mean, the albums were expensive in the UK. I mean, you're buying CDs for £16. I mean,
it was like
it was too expensive.
£20 in my pocket, like every other week. So it was like one CD and then maybe a 12-inch vinyl. And I had no money for the rest of the week then. I couldn't go out with my friends who were drinking beer and smoking But I'm glad because I ain't got a big gut and I'm not dying of cancer because I ain't got throat cancer. So, and I've got something to show for that money. I've got, I can always sell. If I needed money, I can always sell my records. Not that I would. I could always sell them, can't I?
Mm. Yeah, as you've got a different relationship with the music because you, as you said, as a collector. Yeah, we had Tower Records. I think Sam Goody's was also a place. But yeah, But as I said, as a university student, I'd go to Best Buy and get it as cheap as possible. Or most of us did. Columbia House, where 10 CDs for a penny, and then you get another envelope and then change your name and then send it in. You get another 10 CDs for a penny. Or then BMG would do the same thing. You get 12 CDs for a penny. And so most of us built up our CD collections for less than $1, and change your names and just get them shipped over.
Scammers.
Namdi, that I can go in a record shop now, and whatever comes out that week, I can afford it. But it's just not. It's not a Brandy. It's not. This is what was coming out now. I'm not going to spend that amount because it's just not. Exactly. I wish I had the money that I've got now that I can spend. I wish I had it back in the 90s. So it's like I felt a lot over the years. I think many of us is just catching up because you didn't have the money back then to buy all this stuff that was coming out all the time. So, but I just wish I had the money back then to buy it all. But
yeah, I mean, as I said, when some of, as I said, I deliberately got a job at Best Buy so I could buy albums. But yeah, it was about, so think about CDs, and I came on holiday in '93. You get an album for like, in a US equivalent, almost $20 for an album. In the UK, it was just unheard of. But you go to Best Buy, you get it for $8.99 because they weren't looking to make money at Best Buy because they wanted you to buy your 5-rack CD player that you put 5 CDs in, and then you just play this out. Oh goodness, I do miss my Sony sort of display that I could just put my CDs in.
Me, right, is everybody here is watching this tonight. It's probably a fan of Mary J. Blige. Have any of you gone out into a store and bought a new album? I'm just because I'm like
gratitude.
That's the first thing I thought when it come out. It's like I've got to go and, just because I just got to go and buy her album. To me, it's like if have you not gone out and bought her album? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Are you just happy that you're going to stream it on Spotify? Are you happy with that?
Most people are conditioned to that now.
I'm amazed. I mean, the vinyl's £60 the vinyl, or $80. I can understand people can't afford to be spending that amount of money on a record, but on a CD, it stuns me as why you wouldn't go and buy it.
I think that the issue is, so if I saw Mary, she says, "Hey, here's my new CD," I would say thank you, but I don't know, I can't play it. I don't have a CD player. My computer doesn't have a CD reader, so I couldn't do anything with it. So that's why it's streaming.
Though, as a fan of the artist, wouldn't you just want to own it?
I don't know if it works the same way because I used to buy it so I can listen to it. I put it in my car or at home. When that's taken away, it then means what am I? It really has. I mean, I interviewed Daryl, silent partner, Daryl's. I can't remember now. Daryl's, and he had a Christmas album, and they sent me the CD to preview before the interview, and I said thank you, but because I have nothing, so they had to send me the MP3s, and I was like, oh, I could put it on my phone and listen to it, or listen to it in the car, and so practically it makes it hard to go out and buy a new album because you can't listen. You can't. We don't. A lot of us don't have, unless you have a vinyl player. or still have a CD player. I don't have one at home.
Really?
We have a little karaoke stuff. Yeah, my kids have a little karaoke stuff you can play it, but it's just not the same. It's either Alexa plays the music, or I watch it on YouTube. And so I think that has really impacted our being able to go out and buy CDs or music. I don't even listen to Spotify because it's
To
just
me, having a
all over the
copy of
place.
Thriller is like having a cooker or a
Yeah,
microwave.
Daryl
in the
Simmons.
house.
Thank you, Daryl.
It's like having a cooker or a microwave. It's like you got to have a copy of Thriller in that. You just have to have it.
Yeah, it's on this. It's on my
And see,
phone.
no way. See, you act younger than I do. I am so old school that I was not letting them. No, this right here is a Michael Jackson record player. Plays records. I have a cassette player. I have a CD player.
I knew that trigger her there. I knew that.
I didn't let anything go because I like CDs.
Got her now. Look, she's going for it. Look, I've got her.
Yeah, but even to buy a vinyl player. I mean, as I said, I when I moved from the States, I couldn't carry 350 CDs with me. Unfortunately, I had to leave them for my brother and stuff. And so my whole collection that I defrauded Columbia House and BMG, I had to, pay back. I had to leave it behind when I moved across. But when the whole thing changed, when Apple iTunes came up and we could listen to it on our phone, yeah,
it is a little story for you. I mean, I remember when I was staying in a town called Waterbury in Connecticut years ago, and I just, I'd go for walk, just discovering the town. And I remember walking down this one street, it had all these shops, and there's this one shop, it had like washing machines outside it and tables, chairs, and it was just like a furniture place. And for some reason, I was looking for music, and for some reason, I don't know why, someone told me to go in that shop, and I went in the shop, Nandy, right? And at the back of the shop, there was this glass cabinet, and underneath it was this shelf. And you know what was underneath this? Oh no, you know what was filling all these shelves? CDs. And you know what CDs they were, Nandy? I'm not lying to you. They were all New Jack CDs. They were all New Jacks. And I said, I couldn't. I'm in this small town in America, just walking around, and my spidey sense, go walking. I said to the guy, how much? I'm looking through, and I'm like, ex-girlfriend, see, you name it, was all there. It was all there, stacks of CDs. I says, how much do you want for these CDs? Went on. I can't get rid of them, 20 cents each.
Wow.
Said,
Wow.
I had to, you're talking about you couldn't carry. What I had to do was, I had about $10 on me, and he went, just give me the $10, you can take the lot. I took all the CDs out the cases. I thought the only way I can get this back to the U, because I couldn't carry them all back. I took all the cases out, and I just kept the CDs and the notes, the back cover and the front cover. And I came back, I bought 2 light cases, and I put them in these cases. You know what I mean? But who'd have thought just to walk in this like hardware store and find hey, only me in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut, in this little town called Waterbury.
Yeah. So I mean, as I said, every Michael Jackson album, I have this. I bought the CD too. But as I said, unfortunately, life has changed where, having a CD player. It may even seem strange playing a CD right now. The way technology has really impacted how we listen to music. I pretty much listen to my music on YouTube more than any other place. Is YouTube. I listen to music. I don't stream on Spotify. Maybe I'm listening to it on the radio, and so that has a big impact on if Blackstreet came out with a new album right now, and they said, here's the CD. I'm like, yes, but I can't listen to it. So if I get the files, I'll listen to it. But unfortunately, we read out the list of what albums came out in '94. We had time I think I had nearly all those albums, but they didn't come out the same day. Even if they did, I remember Blackstreet's Another Level and New Edition's Home Again came out on the same day. I bought both of them, but I could listen to both of them and appreciate them. I don't know if they just, so much is coming out. And I think we're becoming desensitized to actually appreciate great music and just listen to it and gel with it. So
Well, this is one of the
it's
great
just
things this
it's
podcast does, is like you say, it does make you concentrate on an album and deep dive and talk about it. Maybe this is a common set, because I've just thought of something that I can't find it, but I've got somewhere a CD of. No, I'm not going to say it because it'll just blow the whole thing. I'll tell you guys offline, because you're going to want it.
I want to know.
You're going to want it so bad. But
Yeah.
I can't find it CD in it somewhere, but I've got it somewhere. But
if you think about it, I mean, I've listened to this Brandy album maybe over 30 times over the last 2 weeks in preparation for today. As we're going to do I'm Ready by Tevin Campbell in a couple of weeks, and of course now I'm going to go back and start listening to that. I think we're going to do Bad. I'm going to bring out this. I'm going to start listening to that over and over again. But that's the thing about these albums and the work they went into making them, and really being able to appreciate them. And that's the one thing that I'm really doing now.
So what
is
would you,
just being
what
able
would you
to
give this album out of 10 then, Peria? Out of 10, what rating would you give it?
For me, I look at it as a debut album that had so much promise, and I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
That's a high. That's a high. Probably high.
It's a special. I factor everything. I factor everything from this was her first album, and vocally the production and things like that. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. You know, it's just like we did Control yesterday, and as I said, I'm just as a package, it just felt like, wow, this is such a great one. DJ All Day gave it an 8.5. And Mac, I think, were you doing a 19 out of 10? Okay, and Mac gave it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You know, everyone. I mean, it'd be great to see what you'd rate this.
What do you give it, Miss J?
10?
She's thinking about it. She's getting hard think. 6, 7, 8.
6. I'm gonna say 6.
Okay, I thought so.
What?
I can understand why you'd say that. I can understand.
You prefer never say never, and you think it's like if you give it too much of a high mark, it would.
Full Moon is amazing to me. You know, my man is on Full Moon. You know, and I love Joe, and Joe's on this her second album. I love Joe, and I love Michael Jackson, and their vocals with hers, everything about it, the arrangements, those albums are amazing to me. You know, I love Dark Child. I love his production quality. Those are great albums. There are more songs. I like 4, maybe 3 songs for real on this album. I love way more than that on those, her second and her third. She was singing my life with her songs on the second and third. Okay. So I think that's another reason why I was so in love with number 3, besides Michael Jackson being on it. It was like I was going through exactly some of the lyrics when that album came out. So yeah, I think it was amazing compared to this one.
What about you, Stevie? What would you rate it?
It's hard because, like I say, I didn't grow up listening to this album fully, only the singles. But it's a high quality album. I'm not gonna rate it as high as what you've done it, Namdi, or as low as what you've. So I'm gonna go in the middle. I'm gonna go about 7.5. Honorable 7.5 for me.
Honorable.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's, you know, when you think of this album, we think of Aaliyah's Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Would you value rate higher?
Probably Aaliyah for me. I'll just because I listen to it more. If I'm honest. Yeah.
Wow.
I do like that album a lot.
Mr. J, what about you?
I don't remember all of Aaliyah's tracks on that album.
Yeah, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. At your
Plus,
best,
there's a bit more New Jack on
forth.
that album as well. There's a few tracks that still got the New Jack vibe on it. You got that thing I like. I used to love that record. You got that thing I like.
But it's amazing they both came out around the same age, and one person looked like she was still in high school, another looked like she was skipping high school.
But her music was
But they keep
going down, ain't nothing but a thing. That was a
Brilliant track though.
bad.
What a brilliant track.
What'd you say, Stevie?
Brilliant track though.
Oh, yeah, it was too
AJ.
grown.
Even the first single, the first single, gosh, that club track. Back and forth,
yeah,
back and forth. They're very similar. I suppose they are. Brandy and Elise, you know, they've got some really strong singles on them. You know.
Yeah.
What
But
about
anyway,
Monica then? Monica again. She was, you know, her album's debut was strong debut. Young girl.
Yeah. I
That
don't
was
know. I don't
94,
think
wasn't it? Monica's debut was it 94? Was it 90? No, was it 93, wasn't it?
I think it was
93 and 94.
I think I'll quickly look,
even,
but
you know.
So you thought Monica was strong? Was it like this and like that? Was like her?
Yeah, that was a really strong album as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 95. Got to do that album at some point. These are essential. They are essential. You got to have these in your collection. Got to have them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I you know, I was never big. I mean, I was never big. Yes, I was never a big Monica fan. I'm as I said, I must admit that I do think she was. I do think she was definitely vocally really good.
I guess
but I think
I didn't.
Miss Thing was 95. Miss Thing was 95.
I didn't buy music because looking back, I just buy music that come out that week that I liked hearing. I didn't think I was like I know you have your fans of artists, but I wasn't a fan of every artist that I was buying. I just thought it had some good tracks on it, so I'll buy it. But anyway, Namdi, it looks like we should land that plane, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's her debut album, Monica's Miss Thing. Yeah, it had some really, you know, it had some good producers on there, Tim and Bob, Shulshock and Colin, Dallas Austin, Dal Simmons. So they went to work on that album, but yeah, but I did prefer Brandy. Guys, we want to thank you. Monica lost her voice dating a drug man. We want to thank you guys for, as always, the chats and and being part of this. It was definitely a great episode tonight. You know, we did Janet yesterday, and so this has really made it an amazing weekend. And we went into not just the album, but we spoke about some of our issues with females in the music industry, as well as reflecting, as Stevie did, on making, you know, buying CDs and really enjoying that. And hopefully some of you do have CD players and vinyl players. That's something that I may have to look into. But definitely, Miss J, it was really great today. Stevie, as always, your reflections before you list your number one has been helpful. And everyone that's been out here, thanks, guys. We appreciate you. I can't remember what Stevie is off to see H-Town, Little G from Silk, and some others next weekend. And so we will be off. But we're back on this.
He's going to go next weekend.
But we are going to be doing Tevin Campbell's "I'm Ready" on Sunday, the 6th of April, and I think we've got the Michael Jackson's "Bad" album as well, and a few others coming up. So stay tuned. We'll pop up some new others as well. But finally, just celebrate the R&B, the music now while these guys are alive, and just keep supporting our R&B. So till next time, we love you guys, and we'll definitely see. Yep, Tony Revival, it's definitely coming as well.
Good night.
So thanks, guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Take care.